They are hiding, watching, and clicking, as you can see. They are under the impression that they are concealed behind bogus accounts and silent views. Nonetheless, their energy betrays them every time they remain for an excessive amount of time, refresh too frequently, or return too quickly. You share an idea or a snapshot of your world, and within a few seconds, they are back on your Facebook page. It is not enough for them to simply observe. They also study, following your wins, looking for areas of weakness and repeating your phrases in the hopes of discovering openings through which they can enter. They need to see how you continue to rise, how you continue to move, and how nothing they've done has been enough to shake you. However, what they don't realize is that their passion has already sealed their doom, because they are unable to stop. All of their attempts to manipulate your energy and draw you into their pandemonium have been unsuccessful, and the fact that they have failed is eating away at them. While they continue to slide deeper into their own destruction, they wait, hoping that the next post will provide them with a solution, hoping that they will catch you slipping, hoping that they will find something, anything that explains why you continue to be untouchable while they are unable to reach you. They are oblivious to the fact that it is not only the content that you post that matters, it is also the quiet that exists between your words and the force that is there in your presence. When they try to implant themselves into your reality, they keep refreshing the page in the hopes of finding a sign, an opening, or a time where they can do so, but you never offer them one. The more they attempt to invade your world, the more the walls close in on them. Their fixation is a war that is fought from one person's perspective, a conflict that they have manufactured, and a goal that they have assigned to themselves. The spectral traces of their desperation may be seen everywhere. Their digital footprints are everywhere. The only thing they are doing is exposing themselves, but they are under the impression that they are gathering information about you. The way in which they change as you do, the way in which their words begin to seem like echoes of yours, the way in which they adapt their style, their tone, and their entire existence in the hope of reflecting you back at yourself, are all the things that you have witnessed. Even though they believe you are unaware of it, you are. They observe, they imitate, and they make an effort to shape themselves into your image. They are confident that if they successfully imitate your rhythm, they will discover what sets you apart from others. They have a fundamental misunderstanding. Your essence is not a costume that they can put on, and your energy is not a formula that they can unlock. It is possible for them to repeat your words, but they will never comprehend the significance of what you are saying. Although they are able to imitate your movements, they will never be able to experience the force that propels you. They can make an effort to transform themselves into you, but each attempt only serves to make them appear more like a hollow shell. The fact that they are spending all of their time observing you, adjusting to you, and taking from you is causing them to lose themselves. They thought it would be simple to do so. All they needed to do was mirror, mimic, or reflect. However, they failed to perceive the consequences of their actions. Continue to develop, continue to change, continue to rise, and continue to become something that they will never be able to catch up to. The reason they are locked in a cycle, stuck in a game they created, and chasing an identity they will never claim, is because you are not just a person to copy. You are an original soul, and they will never be anything more than your shadow. They are seeking an identity that they will never claim. There are certain patterns that you observe, such as the fact that they appear to be present at all times, and the fact that their presence seems to be less of a coincidence and more of a script that they have been practicing. Even though they believe they are subtle, they are not. The convenience of every inadvertent run-in is excessive, and the deliberateness of every random encounter is excessive. When they speak, it is rehearsed and calculated. Their words are not organic. Rather, they are lines in a screenplay, meticulously constructed to insert themselves in your reality. They appear in areas that they have never cared about before, places that they are aware of your existence, the unnatural weight that lies behind their relationships, the desperation that can be seen in their energy, and the forced familiarity that can be found in their tone are all things that you experience. Although they believe they are attempting to ensnare you in a web, the only people who are caught in it are themselves. Due to the fact that their obsession is loud and people are beginning to notice it, you do not have to expose them, nor do you have to confront them. In the beginning, they did not take it seriously. Nevertheless, as time went on, the patterns were impossible to ignore. Why do they always bring you up? Why is it that their eyes do not leave you alone? The question is, why does their energy change when you walk into the room? They are powerless to stop themselves. While they were under the impression that they were the ones observing you, the truth is that everyone is watching them. Their karmic tendencies are on full display. They are clear, predictable, and tiring, and reveal themselves. The worst part is that you don't even acknowledge them, which is a testament to the fact that their ambition to control the narrative has also become their defeat. It is sufficient for them to be unraveled simply by your existence. They constructed their world around your actions, your words, and your presence, and now, as their addiction seeps through the cracks, they are left standing in the chaos that they have created for themselves. Every movement reveals them, and every motion substantiates what you have always perceived to be true. You do not need to utter a single word, since they have already shown themselves to you. You didn't stumble here by accident, you were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership, it's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the Chosen. They are under the impression that they are in command. They plan, they plot, and they prepare the groundwork for their subsequent action, absolutely certain that they will be successful this time. And then everything comes apart. The meeting that they had intended to attend is cancelled. The event that they had accidentally hoped to run into you at is rescheduled, and the text message that they were ready to send is never sent. The fact that they are unable to comprehend it is that regardless of how meticulously they arrange their traps, something always goes wrong. In spite of the fact that they leave early, they come late. They call, but the signal is weak. They push the refresh button, but your page does not loads. Despite the fact that it is extremely frustrating, you are so preoccupied with living, growing, and moving in your own rhythm that you are completely oblivious to it. Although they were never a part of your plans, they have formed their entire lives around you, and now they are coming to the realization that something frightening has occurred. They are unable to approach you in any way, whether it be physically, digitally, or spiritually. It is always something that prevents them from touching you, since you were never intended to be touched by them. There is divine interference that stands between you and their ambitions, breaking every thread that they attempt to weave into your universe. There are safeguards in place that they will never be able to fathom. They make an effort to move forward, but they are pushed back by an unseen force. They make an effort to enter your space, but existence itself closes the door in their face. Despite the fact that they are unable to see the hands at work, They are aware of the unseen power that is altering reality in order to keep them at a distance. This is what drives them insane. When they were younger, they had faith in power. Their power, their ability to control, to manage, and to bend circumstances to their will. But now, they have found that nothing works. Everything that they throw at you comes back to them. Every scheme that they have devised falls apart in their hands, and every attempt to intercede is unsuccessful. Your actions continue as if they do not exist at all, despite the fact that in your world they have never existed. And now let us take a time to take a moment to commemorate those who have been selected among us. Here's to those who have a unique perspective on the world, the silent guardians, the watching souls who are always awake and always vigilant. They are not the typical type, and they wouldn't have it any other way if they could. While others travel down well-trodden roads, some make their own, engaging in fights that are not visible to others and shedding light on the darkness. It is not for everyone, and that is okay. Nevertheless, if you feel it deep inside, you will know that this is meant for you. There are no masks, no pretenses, just the truth. They were under the impression that they were the agents of destruction. They believed that they had the ability to pull the strings, manipulate the energies, push their way into your world, and control it. Take a look at them now. They are ensnared not by you or anything you've done, but rather by their own preoccupation with the subject matter. Every time they pursue you, they lose a piece of themselves. Every time they try to violate your space, they carve another debt into their karmic record, which binds them more tightly to a fate from which they can no longer escape. They began with self-assurance, feeling that they had the upper hand, that you would not be able to notice them coming, and that they could draw you into their turmoil and keep you there. They were unaware of the fact that you do not participate in their games. You have never done so. In a different reality, you walk around, governed by forces that are beyond their ability to control. As they get closer, the burden of their own desperation pulls them further down until they reach their lowest point. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $50 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. They believed that they could break you, but they are the ones who are breaking you themselves. They believed that they could bend your will, but they are the ones who are being broken. And the worst part is that they are unable to stop it, regardless of how many times they fail, how many times their plans fail, and how many times they embarrass themselves in an attempt to push their way into your existence. Due to the fact that they do not possess any other identity at this moment, they continue to pursue. However, you are the only thing that is keeping them going at this point. You were supposed to be the target. They have made you the focal point of their entire existence, following you, mimicking you, becoming obsessed with you, and attempting to prevent you from rising to prominence. However, every action they do just serves to hasten their own fall from grace. People are able to see their desperation now. It is evident in their eyes, in the restless energy that they exude, and in the manner in which they bring up your name, even when no one has requested them to do so. They are unable to concentrate, they are unable to rest, and they are unable to breathe without worrying what you are doing, where you are, and what they will do next. Previously, they were the ones who attempted to exert control over you. However, today, they are the ones who are being dominated by their own fear, their own envy, and their own failing cycle that never ends. What began as a game has evolved into a prison, and it is not one that you constructed for them. Rather, it is one that they constructed for themselves. They have tried everything. They have watched you from the shadows, they have lurked behind bogus names, and they have monitored your every step like a predator that is confident it can corner its victim. They were under the impression that if they studied you for a sufficient amount of time, and if they took themselves seriously enough, they would discover the defect, the vulnerability, or the pressure point that would ultimately cause you to break. On the other hand, you never gave in. You never lowered your head. You never even recognized them. And now they are going completely insane. You were the target of their efforts to exert control over you, to pull the strings behind the scenes, and to orchestrate setbacks that were intended to cause you to crumble. Yet, the only thing that crumbled was their image of power. Even though they hacked, tracked, and manipulated you, you continued to rise. In addition, something within them cracked a little bit more with each new level that you reached, because the truth was indisputable. This occurred with each and every ascent. Now they have wasted their time, they have wasted their energy, and they have wasted their own destiny by attempting to shatter someone who is unbreakable, and the awareness that they have done so is intolerable. During the time that they committed their days to focusing on you, your path remained unexplored. Each and every effort that was made to slow you down just served to make you move more quickly. Each and every scheme that they devised to defeat you was ultimately unsuccessful. Each and every second that they spent fixating on your failure served only to fuel your rise to power. As of right now, they are aware of the sinking, suffocating weight that is in their chest, as well as the empty agony that comes from the realization that they have given away their power and poured their life force into a conflict that they will never be able to win. You didn't even bother to fight back. There was no need for you to do so. They have always been fighting a battle against themselves, and now they are the only ones who are suffering from their addiction. They were under the impression that they were the ones who were observing you, following, monitoring, and analyzing your every action, just like a scientist would analyze an abnormality. You never played the game. You never chased them. You never called them out, and you never fed into their obsession. They wanted to understand you, control you, and reduce you to something they could anticipate and manipulate, but something happened that they did not see coming. You never played the game. You never made them chase you, and you never fed into their obsession. You moved in silence, continued rising undeterred by their frantic efforts to remain in your orbit, and without lifting a finger, you did the one thing that they feared the most. You exposed them. You did this not by confronting them or by taking revenge. Rather, you simply exposed them by being who you are. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull? Tap join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. All of their carefully created egos, including the false identities they wore like armor and the lies they told in order to maintain their dominance, began to fall apart. People began to take notice. At first, it was just a few discreet side looks, raised eyebrows, and a quiet awareness sneaking into discussions. Nevertheless, eventually, the question began to arise. Why do they bring you up so much? What is it about you that they appear to know everything about? Do you know why they are always watching? Their preoccupation, which was until recently concealed by shadows, is now on full display. They had the intention of keeping you under observation, but now they are the ones who are monitoring you. Each and every hushed conversation, every phony interaction, and every attempt to keep an eye on you is currently being studied. They are now able to see the fractures, the desperation, and the disturbing fixation that they have on you. These are the same people who once believed them without doubt. They believed that they were in charge and that they had power over you. Instead, they are the ones who are struggling to maintain control. The harder they try to conceal it, the more obvious it gets. Their carefully manicured masks are falling from their faces, and their narratives are disintegrating with each passing day. It is not even necessary for you to take any action, since the truth has a way of revealing itself. And at this point, everyone is able to recognize exactly who they are. They made an effort to obstruct it, to delay it, to ruin it, and to intercept something that was never intended for them. They manipulated the situation by pulling strings, whispering in ears, and weaving illusions in order to convince themselves that they had the authority to steal what was rightfully yours. But inheritance does not operate in such a manner. You do not pursue what is already yours, and now everything that they attempted to steal is coming back to its proper owner. This includes money, power, recognition, and divine possibilities that were written into your destiny long before they even knew your name. The doors that they attempted to shut in your face are now opening on their own. The resources that they stockpiled in the hope of keeping you beneath them are now slipping through their fingers, and the influence that they established by stepping on your name is now disintegrating beneath their feet. They believed that they could change the course of events. They believed that they could take possession of something that was never theirs to begin with. Nevertheless, all they did was hasten their own demise. During the time that they were preoccupied with obsessing over you, chasing shadows, and exhausting themselves in an attempt to obstruct your rise, they neglected their own path, and now they are empty-handed. They are watching you step into everything that they tried to deny you, and they are watching you receive what was always meant to be yours with ease, grace, and the kind of divine favor that they could never imitate. They are now aware of the fact that they were never intended to prevail over you. This is due to the fact that your riches is not merely monetary. Rather, it is spiritual, energetic, and generational, and it is a force that is so much more powerful than they could ever grasp. They were pursuing, plotting, and manipulating, but for what purpose did they spend their time? To be left with nothing while you stroll straight into your birthright without having to use any force, without exerting any effort, and without ever having to fall to their level. Observe them. They are exhausted, unsteady, and unraveling. They believed that they had time. They believed that they could play their little games for an infinite amount of time, concealing themselves behind illusions, pulling strings, and watching from the shadows. But time was never on their side. They squandered it by pursuing you, and now it is coming back to haunt them. The same energy that they used to pursue, plot, and intervene is now consuming them from the inside out. They are seeking for a method to stop what they know is going to happen, but there is no way to stop it because what they feared the most has already occurred. Their brains are racing, and they are finding themselves restless and frantic. It is unavoidable that you will achieve success. While they appear fatigued, you appear light. While they spiral into paranoia, you move with ease. While they fight for control, you remain unshaken. Even after everything they have hurled at you, you continue to rise while they fall under their own weight. They do not comprehend how you are able to achieve this. They do not comprehend how you are able to remain unaffected. You never had to battle them. You never had to reduce yourself to their level. You never had to return the energy they sent your way. This is because their downfall was always built into their own preoccupation. And now it is too late. Late for them. However, the reality is straightforward. You never needed to fight them. Every effort they made to slow you down only served to deplete their own spirit. Every trap they built only served to imprison them deeper. Every second they spent focusing on you was time that they stole from their own destiny, and now they have nothing left. No power, no control, and no means to erase the harm that they brought upon themselves. While this is going on, you continue to be successful, not because you made an effort to win, but because you were never intended to fail. They believed that they were untouchable, that they could stalk, intervene, and manipulate without any consequences, and that their fixation would lead to your collapse. Nevertheless, it led to their own destruction instead. It is true that karma does not forget, and at this moment, it is moving quickly to retrieve every ounce of energy that they have sent your way. The paranoia that they attempted to instill in you is now eating away at them, because their own minds are eating them alive. The obstacles that they placed in your path are now causing their own lives to break apart. They are falling apart under the weight of their own acts. Their plans have failed. Their influence has collapsed. The power that they once held over others is gone, and you are left unharmed while they retreat into the shadows, drowning in the turmoil that they have produced. You do not need to raise a finger to do this. As you move forward, you are unencumbered, free, and clear. This was never your struggle to fight. They were the ones who brought this upon themselves. They attempted to exert control over something that was never intended to be controlled. They observed you, imitated you, and became fascinated with you. They were certain that if they watched closely enough, they would be able to extract your essence, rewrite their journey, and take possession of something that was never theirs to possess. On the other hand, force does not yield to imitation, and energy does not yield to extreme desperation. Neither you nor your existence were ever intended for them to comprehend. You were never supposed to be consumed by them. Their access to you was misunderstood as ownership, and their preoccupation was misunderstood as a strategy. They were unaware that they were contributing to their own demise by their actions. At this moment, their vitality is diminishing, their influence is diminishing, and their presence is dissipating into oblivion. Their goal was to exert control over you, but you ended up being their undoing without making any effort, without taking any kind of retaliatory action, and without deviating from your own course. You managed to destroy their illusions and reveal their desperation simply by continuing to exist, and while they are falling apart, lost in the chaos that they have created for themselves, you are climbing higher. Allow them to observe, allow them to whisper, and allow them to become submerged under the weight of their own fixation. Your very presence is the only thing that matters. Describe the ways in which you have observed individuals attempting to track, imitate, or manipulate your energy. Leave a comment below with your stories. Let's have a conversation.